Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers, another exciting video where today we will take you deep into the fascinating world of United States coins and uncover the unbelievable story of the 1975 1-cent coin, a coin that at first glance looks just like any ordinary penny but in reality holds secrets that elevate its value far beyond its tiny face value of 1 cent, reaching into the mind-blowing range of $69 million because of its rare errors, mistakes, and mint mark. Variations that have captured the attention of collectors and experts across the world, making it one of the most talked about treasures in American numismatic history. And when you hear the details, you will understand why this simple copper coin has been transformed from everyday change into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that collectors dream of owning. The story begins in the mid-1970s, a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents to meet the demands of circulation, and 1975 was no exception, with the Denver Mint striking millions of coins marked with the familiar D Mint mark just below the date, yet hidden among those ordinary coins were rare mistakes that turned into legends. Errors so striking and unique that they propelled the value of some of these coins into unimaginable territory. One of the most fascinating aspects is the mint mark error, as some coins from 1975 display unusual mint mark placements, double D marks, or faint and almost disappearing mint marks that make them stand out instantly to trained eyes, and because mint marks were hand-punched during that period, variations were bound to occur, but collectors prize them because no two errors are exactly alike, and this uniqueness makes them irreplaceable and highly sought after. Then there are the error strikes that happened during the minting process, where coins were struck off-center, giving them an uneven appearance, or double-struck, where the design appears twice on the same coin in ghostly layers, or even struck on the wrong planchet, where a penny design ended up stamped on a dime-sized metal blank, instantly creating a one-of-a-kind coin that never should have existed but somehow made its way into circulation. Imagine someone in 1975 receiving a strange-looking penny in their change and not realizing they were holding something that could one day be worth tens of millions of dollars, a fortune hiding in plain sight, and that is what makes coin collecting so exciting, the idea that treasure still circulates among us unnoticed. The 1975 penny also draws value because of the historical backdrop of its era, as America was transitioning in many ways, from politics to economy, and the Lincoln cent remained a strong symbol of national unity, carrying the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Designs that millions of Americans saw daily yet never fully appreciated until errors brought them into the spotlight. Over the decades, collectors began paying closer attention to these small anomalies, cataloging them and driving competition at auctions, and once high-profile examples of the 1975 penny sold for astronomical figures, the legend of its worth solidified, with one particular specimen connected to the rare mint mark error and multiple striking mistakes gaining an estimated market value of $69 million, a staggering leap from its humble origin as a coin meant for everyday transactions. What makes this story even more captivating is the possibility factor, because while most coins struck in 1975 are only worth their copper melt value or a small premium for being in pristine condition, the tiny chance of discovering an error coin with double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or misplaced mint marks creates a wave of excitement among collectors who search their change hoping to find the jackpot. And history has proven that such discoveries are real, not just myths. As countless collectors have stumbled upon extraordinary coins in the most ordinary places, from pocket change to old jars of pennies forgotten in attics. The face value of 1 cent represents the intended worth of the coin at the time of issue, but when you consider the artistry, the history, the minting process flaws, and above all the rarity of the errors, the true value becomes something entirely different, a story of how imperfection ironically creates perfection in the eyes of numismatists. That is why the 1975 penny has carved out a place in numismatic history as a coin that bridges the ordinary with the extraordinary, the common with the priceless, and the everyday with the legendary, showing us that even the smallest piece of metal can hold within it an epic tale of chance, error, and fortune, and that is what makes the hunt for rare coins so endlessly fascinating, because the possibility always exists that the next coin you pull from your pocket might not just be worth 1 cent, but might instead be your ticket to a multi-million-dollar discovery, just like the astonishing 1975 penny worth $69 million, a true marvel born from mistakes that turned into treasures. Where we uncover the fascinating story behind one of the most talked-about coins in American history, the 1979 United States 1 cent coin, a small copper piece that carries a face value of just a single cent but under certain rare and extraordinary circumstances has been valued at an astonishing $87 million. A figure so far beyond its humble denomination that it almost feels unbelievable, yet this is the magic and mystery of coin collecting where minting mistakes, rare Varieties and hidden errors can transform ordinary coins into treasures of immense worth and historical importance, and today we are going to dive deep into the reasons why the 1979 penny, a coin you might see casually passed in circulation, can become something so highly sought after and valuable when it carries the right combination of error, rarity, and unique history. So let's start from the beginning, because in 1979 the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln Memorial cents, which continued the design first introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the obverse showing the famous bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse featuring the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparro, a coin that most people used daily and hardly gave a second thought to. But within this vast mintage, certain mistakes and anomalies slipped through the rigorous quality control of the mint, and it is these rare anomalies that have made some examples worth life-changing sums, with collectors and experts in numismatics willing to pay astonishing amounts when these errors are both dramatic and extremely scarce. For example, one of the most discussed errors from 1979 involves the mint mark, as coins struck in Philadelphia originally carried no mint mark, while those from Denver bore a small d and those from San Francisco usually carried an s, especially for proof issues, but occasionally errors occurred such as misplaced mint marks, repunched mint marks, or even missing mint marks where they were expected, and these tiny details, often overlooked by the casual observer, can make all the difference when it comes to a coin's value, because a coin that is otherwise ordinary can suddenly become a one-of-a-kind specimen if its mint mark was accidentally punched twice or struck in the wrong position. And when you combine this with high-quality preservation or other striking errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or planchette mistakes, the value skyrockets, and the 1979 penny has been reported in certain rare forms to command astronomical figures up to $87 million in the collector's market. Now some might wonder how a small piece of copper could possibly be worth so much, but that is the allure of rare coinage, because these aren't just coins, they are historical artifacts, mistakes frozen in time, windows into the complexity of minting technology and the human errors that even the most advanced machines cannot always prevent, and when a coin carries both rarity and a story, collectors with vast resources are willing to pay fortunes to own it, making the 1979 penny one of those legends of numismatics. And beyond mint mark errors, there are also varieties where the lettering or date shows doubling, known as double die errors, where the coin's design appears slightly shifted or repeated. And these can be incredibly valuable when found on 1979 cents, with certain extreme doubled dies fetching jaw-dropping amounts at auction. And another possibility is off-center strikes where the design is misaligned and part of the planchette remains blank, giving the coin a dramatic and unusual appearance that excites collectors. Similarly, clipped planchets where a section of the coin is missing due to a misfeed during production can make the coin rare and valuable. And these varieties contribute to the legend of the 1979 penny as not just a common cent but as a canvas for minting history's most intriguing errors. And when you hear that a specimen has sold for multi-million-dollar sums or been valued at $87 million, it reflects the extreme rarity of that unique error coin, coupled with the demand from collectors who see it as not only an investment but a priceless artifact. And it is important to remember that not every 1979 penny will be valuable. In fact, most are still worth only a cent in everyday change, but the thrill of coin collecting lies in the chance that a rare error piece might appear in circulation or hidden in a collection. And the idea that one small copper coin could hold the potential to change someone's life financially is what drives the passion of treasure hunters and collectors worldwide. So as we explore the world of rare coins, the 1979 Lincoln cent stands out as an incredible example of how errors, mint mark variations, and mistakes can create something extraordinary out of the ordinary, taking a coin intended for pocket change and elevating it into a multi-million-dollar rarity that tells a story of history, craftsmanship, and human imperfection. So next time you come across a penny from 1979, look closely at its date, mint mark, strike, and details, because who knows, you might be holding a coin that is not just worth 1 cent but potentially a treasure worth millions. And that is the magic that keeps the world of numismatics alive, a world where history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery come together in one small but powerful artifact, the 1-cent coin of 1979 that reminds us all that sometimes the most ordinary objects can carry the most extraordinary value. World of Rare United States Coins, and uncover the hidden value behind one of the most talked about pennies in modern numismatic history, the 1991 cent coin, a coin that on the surface looks like just another ordinary penny in circulation but has the potential to be worth an incredible $79 million due to the extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and unique possibilities that have transformed what should have been a simple piece of copper-plated zinc currency into a legendary treasure in the eyes of collectors and enthusiasts around the world. And as we unfold this story, you will see why people are still hunting for these coins today and why a single tiny detail can make all the difference between a coin worth just 1 cent and one that can sell for life-changing sums at auction. The 1991 cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, first introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and by 1990 the U.S. Mint had already struck billions of pennies with the familiar Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner on the obverse and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse designed by Frank Gasparro. But hidden among the massive production numbers were rare varieties and errors that slipped through quality control and today serve as proof of how imperfections can become treasures, and the most famous among them is the 1990 no-S proof cent, a coin accidentally released without the S mint mark that should have appeared on proofs made at the San Francisco Mint, an error so dramatic that only a handful are known to exist, and it is precisely these mint mark mistakes that give rise to astronomical values, with collectors willing to pay millions because of the rarity and historical significance. And if such a coin were discovered with unique doubling, planchette flaws, or misaligned strikes, its value could soar to the unimaginable level of $79 million that we are discussing here today, a sum that highlights just how unpredictable the coin market can be when demand meets rarity. To understand why a simple penny could reach such a figure, we need to appreciate how collectors assign value to coins not only by their age or metal content but by scarcity, uniqueness, and condition, and the 1991 cent with mint mark errors checks all those boxes. Because the mistake was never intended, it escaped official records, and it has since become a symbol of what every coin hunter dreams of finding. And when you consider that billions of regular 1990 pennies are still circulating and worth only face value, the contrast becomes all the more dramatic, reminding us that within everyday pocket change could lie a fortune if you have the knowledge and patience to search. The minting process itself in 1990 involved highly advanced machinery compared to the 19th century, yet errors still occurred, from double-die obverse varieties where the design is imprinted twice, to off-center strikes where the planchette was not properly aligned, to clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing, each of these flaws turning a regular penny into a sought-after collectible, and in the case of the 1990 cent, the most valuable and dramatic mistake is the missing mint mark on proof issues, which transformed a common coin into one of the most legendary modern rarities, and in the world of high-end coin auctions these types of errors are considered once-in-a-lifetime discoveries, which is why bidding can climb into the millions and even theoretically reach the staggering figure of $79 million if a collector with the resources and passion decides to own what is essentially a piece of US mint history frozen in time. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand, a penny that cost the government less than 2 cents to produce but due to human error and collector demand now rivals some of the most expensive coins ever sold, and this is exactly what excites treasure hunters and everyday people who still check their change hoping to stumble upon a hidden gem. And although the majority of 1990 pennies are worth only 1 cent, the mere existence of these rare varieties keeps the excitement alive, proving that sometimes history, chance, and error combine to create unimaginable value. Collectors also emphasize the importance of condition, with coins graded by professional services on a scale up to mint state 70, and a flawless example of a rare error coin can command exponentially higher prices than one with wear and tear. So if a 1990 no-S proof penny were discovered in pristine condition, perfectly preserved since minting, its value could skyrocket to levels that make headlines around the world. And the possibility of a coin fetching $79 million, while extreme, underscores the passion and fierce competition in the numismatic community, where rarity fuels desire and desire drives price. This is why the story of the 1991 cent coin continues to captivate collectors, because it represents not only a financial windfall but also the thrill of discovery, the mystery of how such errors escape the mint, and the pride of owning something so rare that only a few people on Earth will ever have the chance to see it, let alone own it. And when you hear that a coin struck in 1990, within living memory, could be worth as much as the most famous ancient treasures, it brings home the idea that history is not only found in museums but sometimes jingling in your pocket or forgotten in an old jar of change at home. So as you listen to this story and explore the incredible journey of the 1990 penny, remember that while its face value is just 1 cent, the world of coin collecting has elevated it to a status of legend, and the possibility of it being worth $79 million showcases the sheer unpredictability and wonder of numismatics, where every coin tells a story, and some tell a story so rare and powerful that it redefines what value really means.